And welcome everybody. This is my Skype if you want to get a hold of us, and we can add you to the OMG Skype group, SueB_13. All right, so now that I've hit the record button, we can actually, we are going to do public webinars from time to time, and then we're going to do weekly private members webinars, and we'll just figure out how to take care of everybody. See if I can adjust my screens here so I can actually see the questions. Will be a novel concept. And I'll try and get to everybody's questions today since there won't be another webinar to come back around to. So Peter says he's getting ready to build a few sites. I think I saw this question on the list, Peter. Few sites similar in a similar but different category. Any chance I can run them by you to take advantage of your wisdom? Possibly. Hammered? No, I don't actually drink during webinars, despite the fact that sometimes it sounds like it. All right, more things that I can't repeat. Good. Do you know how to create YouTube RSS feeds? Let's just see if Russ is on the horizon. No, not yet. Do you know how to create YouTube RSS feeds? So let me just look and see if that got updated in the wiki, because I know we had a thingy on that. We had a thingy about all the feeds. Just see if this is the new version. Yes, so this is how you can do that. Let me just come over here and stick it in the spreadsheet. Andre. For those of you, let me come back here, so that you can get, because we actually keep this source up to date, so this is actually more useful than the thing that I sent you. I'll just drop this here in the thing to everybody, and then you will have our wiki page. And as you saw, there's the little search function over here. I tell you what, I can't find all the stuff that I need without the search function, so it's a lifesaver. All right, back to the questions. Do you know tools to create RSS feeds out of any site like Weebly.com and more? Really having a hard time converting some social properties into an acceptable feed to submit to Social Explosion. All right, so I have good news for all of you people who want to submit things to Social Explosion. We're going to be coming out with a browser widget thingy. Thingy is a highly technical term, and it's going to be, it'll sit like right up in here, and you'll be able, whenever you're on, let's say I was on this fine Google spreadsheet and I wanted to explode it socially, I'm just going to be able to hit my little Social Explosion exploder widget, and it will pop up and make sure that, you know, the settings are the way that I want them. You're going to be able to set default settings and then change them on the fly if you want, and then just push it off to Social Explosion and it'll explode that page. So that's going to solve part of the problem. And then everybody has been bugging me because it would be really, really easy for us to actually create our own little feed creation thingy-dingy. Thingy-dingy, again, being a technical term, right? SaaS application would be the non-technical term. So that you guys can use ours, because I'm just finding everything else to be really unreliable. Like sometimes they're the ones that are available, particularly for free, and this is my problem with free tools, is that, you know, because they are free, then they limit the functionality, and so you put all of your stuff together and you make a feed, and it's there for a week or maybe 2 weeks, but then it goes bye-bye, and that's just pathetic. So I would say, let me just write that down because I've had so many people ask me that within the last couple of weeks that it really, I need to just make sure it goes on the list of stuff to do. Um, go to, it keeps trying to pop in front. RSS creation SaaS. All right, it's officially on the list. So the widget thingy, I would expect to come out within a couple of weeks. It would have been sooner, but Scott's been battling battles. That's what you do when you go into battle, right? You pick up a sword and things get bloody. And I'm just hoping that Scott's still in one piece. So if he hadn't been in battle for the last couple of weeks, that would already be underway. So, my hope is that it'll be ready for testing in about a week. But if there are more battles next week, then it might be 2 weeks. But it's the next thing on his list of stuff to do. All right. Oh, that's interesting, Ryan. You have a completely different. Let me just check what Ryan shot me because it's a completely different link from what I have. Oh, gosh. There's some things about GoTo that are just so annoying. All right, so let's try this here. Well, that works too. But it's the same format as this one. What I was hoping was that that we'd find one that gave us the images again. The little. Yeah, that's exactly the same format. That's just sad. I really could shoot YouTube for that. Because before you used to be able to get one with the excerpt, or at least some kind of part of the description, and the image of the video and all of that kind of good stuff. I wonder if that could actually be manufactured. That might be worthwhile. Let me put that on the list too. Because that's what I really want. Yeah, Ryan, it works, but okay. So no, Patrick, we don't need unique content for social explosion, because it's going out to, think about it. Yeah, how many times do you retweet the same thing, or how many times is the same thing retweeted? And the only thing that's different is the fact that it's retweeted, right? The retweet in front of it. So no, you don't have to. When it comes to social platforms, you don't have to have unique content. How can you access, how may I access your information? Because I don't see everything via iPad. Ouch, Greg, do you mean to tell me that my new site is not mobile compliant? Ouch. I'm not sure, Greg, if you're talking about on the webinar here, or if you're talking about like my website that I was just showing you so that you could sign up for the newsletter. Oh, the webinar. I don't know. That's probably yet another thing that I could hate about GoTo. Typically, the little screen that you've got there, you can drag the corner and GoTo and make the screen bigger so that you can see more of it. All right, back to the questions. All right, so our stuff. I want to create my personal Twitter army. What kind of social media management platform can I use to do that? You know, that's why I built Social Explosion. We were using Twitter, TweetAttacks Pro, and like we would get that up and running, and it would work for a couple of months, kind of, sort of, so long as we didn't have more than, I mean, it depended on the server that we were hosting it on as to how much memory and blah, blah, blah. But we got a fairly reasonable server. I think it was like $350 or so we were spending for that server. And it still wasn't handling more than about 100, maybe 200 accounts. And it just was really crimping my style. And then it would just go completely belly up. And we'd have to reformat and re-enter all the information, and I just got completely frustrated. So that was why I built Social Explosion in the first place. And then when I built Social Explosion, it was like, well, we might as well share it, right? Because now it's in a format that we can share. So I did not see your group. Oh, cool. All right, good. And then John says, have you looked at Zoom.us webinar platform there? No, but I will. Now that you mention that, thank you for the idea. There's a couple of other interesting ones that are just coming out. In fact, somebody has hit us up to do work for them, so we'll see. All right, so next question. I'm using Social Explosion for the first time, and I have a couple of questions. I read the help files, and it says to include pages. I should use the plugin RSS includes pages. Do I then take the site RSS feed and place it into the RSS URL on the accounts settings page? Yes. Do I need to activate Social Explosion and buy a subscription prior to publishing the pages in order for Social Explosion to send the signals, or can I build the pages first? So here's the thing. The way that feeds work is stuff rolls off the bottom of it. So your page, let's say that you create a page, and then you create 9 blog posts. Then your page is down at position 10, normally by default in WordPress. Let me just open up my blog. Show you guys what I'm talking about. I think it's under rating. Yeah, so syndication shows the most recent 10 items. So that's what it's going to say by default, right? And so what you're going to want to do, so like let's say that you've created, let's say you created 5 pages. So now they're going to be the top 5 items in your feed. Now if you create 5 blog posts, then your 5 blog posts are going to be on top of your 5 pages. And if you create a 6th blog post, then your first page is going to fall off the bottom. So you have a couple of choices. You can make this a bigger number so that it includes all of your items, or you can sign up for Social Explosion first, and you can run your feed through the through Social Explosion and then create your content. One way or the other. That was this over here. That's probably the preferred method. Or still in your feed. They have not fallen off the bottom. All right. To get this to wrap maybe might be a nice idea. Obekeba. The redirection WordPress plugin offers pass-through redirections. They return a 200. Pass-through versus 301. In particular, if I'm building a new website on an age domain and I'm getting a lot of 404s, which redirection method to the home page would you recommend? I'm just thinking. So I don't think I'm not 100% certain if this kind of a redirect, the 200 redirect, is actually going to pass your page rank from inbound links, or your domain authority from inbound links. So I would be inclined to go with the 301 redirects because I know that that passes what you're looking for. Now, if you're building a new website on an aged domain, if you bought the domain and it was a different topic, then I would probably use something like Link Juice Keeper that just redirects everything to the home page, because that's going to be an off topic, right? So you're not going to want to build pages that have a similar topic if you're changing the topic because it's a PBN type site. Mike offered to help. Colin left, but he said that he just found that with GTW on iPhone, you can zoom in as far as you want with a normal two-finger zoom. Oh, that's cool. Sure, let me promote Mr. Mike. Let me find him. Mr. Clay. Make you an organizer. And then he can help field the questions. That keeps me from having to look on 3 different screens all at the same time. Which, you could just tell how well I can multitask from what we did a minute ago, right? All right.
Exactly.
Okay. You're quiet, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all the windows open so I can help out, and I'll mute myself so you can keep talking.
Okay. You're good. I can hear you now. That's good. You don't have to mute yourself. You can make snide remarks. It's fine. I'm used to having Russell on the call.
Well, I was here to harass Jimmy and ask Jimmy crazy questions.
He might be along. Oh, Russ is back on Skype, so he might be along here shortly too. All right. So that was this. I would say 301 for safety's sake. Is it safe to have all my PBNs and Web 2.0's logins saved in my RoboForm? In other words, can Google see what I have saved in RoboForm? I'm sure if you're using it on Chrome operating system, they can. I'm joking. I would say that RoboForm is fairly safe, and you're probably just fine.
Yeah, I use RoboForm on my local desktop. I don't use it in the cloud though.
I don't use it in the cloud either. I mean, I don't use RoboForm, period, but if I did, I wouldn't use it in the cloud. If you talk to Kevin Polly for like 10 minutes about cloud computing, you'll never do anything seriously money-oriented or security-oriented on the cloud ever again. it's really easy thing to hack, just so you know. And when I was staying at the hotel, I moved here to Texas a couple months ago, and while I was staying at the hotel, there was a geek wannabe behind the desk, and he showed me exactly how easy it was to break into an iPad. Like, you reboot it, you create a new admin account, and Bob's your uncle. And I was just like, no way. So clouds, what can I say? I know they're a thing of the future, but security needs to come leaps and bounds. All right, I'm sliding that soapbox firmly back under my desk before I actually manage to step on top of it. When you have a blog, should you follow the posts? The same content is shown. A typo there, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck that means. When you have a blog, should you follow the posts if the same content is shown on your blog page? So yes, so like if on your blog you have the complete blog post on your homepage as well as on the blog post, what Google is gonna look at is that the homepage is a mashup. And so, I mean, I don't ever show the entire content on the homepage. I think that that's like, there's all kinds of reasons why I don't show the entire content on the front page. If you have all your content on the front page, somebody can land on your site, they can read your entire blog, and they can click back to Google, which basically means it was a bounce, and yet they've read your entire blog. If you have a snippet and you force them to go down deeper to read the rest of the blog post, you're much more inclined to not have a bounce. So, so for many such reasons, I never show the entire blog post on the homepage. And you can, if you're trying to get that link to your money site on the homepage where there's more domain authority, just make sure that your link is in the snippet that you show on the homepage. And that would solve that problem. Now, if you've got things like tags and category pages, you absolutely want to do a no index, not a no follow, but a no index, because those pages are susceptible to duplicate content. Let's say that you pick 3 unique tags for one particular post. So in other words, you've got 3 tags that you've not used on any other post. This particularly happens on a new blog. That means that there's 3 different URLs just with the /tag in it that are completely different ways. They're completely unique URLs, and yet the destination has got the same content on it. So this is one of the reasons I use Yoast, because you can have it do a no index on your tag and category pages. So is that clear to everybody? I think we've talked about that in depth before, but I know we've always got new people coming into the mix. All right. Guys, give me a 1 if you're still awake and a 2 if I've managed to put you to sleep because I didn't play Guns N' Roses. Right, no index follow. Eric is asleep. Dang it. How do you change the front blog page to a summary? So you don't actually change the front blog page to a summary. What you do is in your post, when you go to create a post, you go blah, blah, blah. This is my blah, 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 blah. Okay, and so now here is where I want to, here is where I want the snippet to end. So I just click this read more tag, and that makes a snippet. So now what's going to appear on the front page are just these top 2 lines, and then it's going to break. And I love, because I am evil, I love to break it right smack in the middle of a sentence, right? You leave this flipping cliffhanger of like the most interesting, the middle of the most interesting sentence so that people have to click through. All right, no, soapbox back under the table again. Thanks, Paul. He's disappointed. Fine. All right, Andre, One question, and one question only. So you notice that there's yet another question right here, right? Okay, so anyway, one question. When submitting RSS feeds to feed directories, does it always create the same anchor text? Well, yes, it will create the same anchor text, but the anchor text will be the title of the post, so you don't really have to worry about it because it's really pretty long. The thing that I do worry about, the thing that I do check out, is I try to only submit to feed directories that have got, you know, I would say 35 and above DA, domain authority, so that I'm getting a decent inbound link. I don't just spam it to every single feed directory in the universe. Hey guys, give me a 1 if you would like for us to do our own feed directory with a high domain authority. If I had Jimmy, like, I don't know, run some domain up to, say, DA of 60 or 70 or some stupid thing like that. All right, let me stick that on the list.
I think that's a definite yes.
It looks like it. I'm a little, yeah, right? Make Jimmy,
There's even a few that say to make Jimmy do it. Yeah.
right? I'll have to get out the whip, but
He's
somebody
not
will
here
enjoy it.
yet, so he got volunteered.
Exactly. All right, so whips for Jimmy. No. Our own feed submission directory. Good. What can you do against that? Let's say yes, but it's okay. Be picky about the directories you submit to. All right. So Bourbon tried our method to promote a URL in Social Explosion more than once and couldn't get it to work. Entered the Weebly URL in page column and got a new UX. Oh, page column isn't probably going to give you. Oh, added it to a new one feed supercharger with a unique name and description. I entered this feed in Social Explosion just to rule out. Okay, so what you can do now is you can hit the dashboard, which I think is, I don't want to do that. Let's go here. Dashboard.wpsocialexplosion.com. You can log in with your token and email, and we should be able to go to posts, and I should, come on baby. This is because I got 1,000,002,002 posts. I'm going to have them paginate this. So if I come in here, I should be able to re-promote it. So you can just come here and you can hit the re-promote, and it will actually go and promote it now. So let me just back all the way up to posts and put that link in the answers column. Republish, I think is the word. Oh, we have questions. Jimmy has said before that you don't want to make a link wheel, but you want to stack authority. Can you give a quick explanation of how to avoid the wheel when doing DAS? Sure. Let's see if we can do this with Notepad. I think my eDraw didn't load properly. So if you have let's say that let's just say site1.com/my content, and that this links to site2.com/my other content, and this links to site3.com/even more content, right? So you can link from here to your money site, and you can link from here to moneysite.com/silo1, and you can like, this is an example, right? Like, this is not like how you have to do it. This is just how you can do it. Right? So that's how he basically does something along the lines of the linking structure for DAS, right? Plus, obviously, there's more than just the 3 sites. There's other stuff up here. But the thing of it is that if this link right here linked back around to site1.com/mycontent, then that becomes a link wheel. Does that make sense? All right. Is that clear, Brad? I was trying to find out where the question was originally.
I think we lost Brad.
Right? He's gotten very quiet. He's thinking. Good. Oh, Don, if you haven't been able to get repromote to work, please put in a help desk ticket. Be specific. Give us your username and token so that we can log into your account and I can play with it. Probably what happened is you were trying to repromote a post that had 0 settings for your like 0 Twitter and 0, like nothing was enabled. None of the social platforms were enabled originally, in which case you have to modify. Let me just see if we're available to modify that. Hang on a second. Let me just see if you fixed that. Oh, this isn't where we were. Here we were. So for instance, this had 0 promotions, and it probably had 0 promotions because everything's disabled. And no promotions, you may run out of creations. You can re-promote them below, but he hasn't changed the ability. We need to put in a box here so that you can change the settings. And so if that's what happened, that your settings were set to 0, then it's not going to work just yet. But as soon as he's not battling, the Dragon City's battling, this will be one of those things that gets fixed along with the blog widget thingy. And that's John again. All right. Brad did not answer me back, so I'm going to assume that answered his question and go back to the spreadsheet. Deep silo question. Does that mean it's a deep question about silos, or it's a deep silo question? All right, I successfully imported a DWS blueprint to set up a siloed site. I want to repurpose the imported DWS silo with a new silo theme, but keep the existing silo structure. Can I just rename the existing pages and permalinks, and then manually add a new category for each new page title? The aesthetics are refined, so I want to create a new silo structure with the old aesthetics. All right, let me read it one more time. So you've imported a DWS blueprint. You want to repurpose the silo with a new silo theme, but keep the existing structure. So in other words, you want to change the theme at the silo level. Can I just rename the existing page and permalinks and then manually add a new category? So if you have the latest Deep Silo plugin, you should be able to just rename the page and everything should work properly. I can't remember if you can change the permalinks. If you change the permalink and it doesn't work, then you need to go change the category. So in other words, if you're here and you change this permalink on your silo and that breaks your silo structure, then what you need to do is come over here to categories. Oh, leave the page. I really don't want the blah, blah, blah post, honest. Then you need to come over here and you'll find a corresponding category for that silo, and you're just going to need to do a quick edit and change the name and the slug, and then everything should be good. I kind of think that Mike fixed that so that you can change the slug and it's all good, but too many changes in too short a space of time, so that's my answer for that. I have TLKT. Can you explain what the upgrade options are to be able to get the deep silo plugin? Or oh, you just buy the silo plugin separately. Just go grab it, and that should be available at I think it's siloblogbuilder.com. That's not the one I want. SEO silo plugin, that's the one I want. And deep is available here. It was deep you wanted, right? Deep. Deep is available here. All right. TLKT only comes with 80 keywords on a huge niche. To get all the keywords, should I create a project for each additional keyword? And say, you know, here's the thing. Google, right at this moment, is changing everything inside of AdWords, and that's part of the dragon that Scott has been slaying. So if it only comes up with 80 keywords, hit the redrill button, sometimes 2 or 3 times, and at some point it should come back with more keywords. And by next week, it will be working properly again. Or I will go shoot the stupid dragon myself. I'm able to import all the projects. You can do that. You can actually redrill 3 times. First, if that doesn't work, but yes, you can import more than one drill into DWS. Absolutely. You can't do them all at once. You have to do them one at a time, but you can do that. That was Danny. All right. So, are there any questions that I need to, I see you've been answering a lot of them, which I really appreciate. But is there anything that we need to talk about? Don't shoot dragons. Well, not shooting dragons is just such a 15th century approach, you know? I'm a modern girl. Is there a way to organize the TLKT drills into folders or something? Not right at the moment, Dawn, but the new version of TLKT, which is on the horizon, we should be alpha testing that bad boy within the next 30 days. You will be able to. That was one of the things that I put my foot down and I said, absolutely, we got to have folders in the new TLKT. And I would show you. Kelly will shoot me if I show you. No, Kelly will shoot me if I show you. We'll have a video soon enough. I'm just going to have to like take a deep breath and just tell you how excited I am about the new tool. Can you? What's that?
Did you say new tool?
You saw it. You know what
Or
I'm
are we not
talking
talking?
about.
Yeah, I'm trying to drag your
You,
soapbox out.
I know. You're trying to wind me up.
Well, they all like it when I do that. Am I the antagonist or the protagonist? We don't know.
Yes. Tag. You're it. Can you post what WP Amazon issue? What? Can you post that WP Amazon issue link here? Was on an iPad and can't copy or click it there. Do you know what he's talking about? This is John at 446.
Let me 446. Oh,
Yeah, for timestamp. Oh, you probably got a different timestamp, like.
it's 646 for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I was talking to him. Yeah, hold on, John.
Okay.
There you go. There's the link.
Cool. Thank you.
Actually, if it's not showing up there, let me just go ahead and post it for everybody. So everybody knows, um, John's trying to run WordPress on Amazon and is having permission issues. Well, I was having the same problems about a week ago, and Kevin Poley gave me documentation. So that's a one tab. It's going to give you a couple of URLs to different documentation out there for Amazon AWS and WordPress.
Cool. All right, so Clint says, since this is the last OMG Webby, without taking away from any of the other trainers having any as part of this program, the past few months has certainly kicked my excitement about SEO. Aw, thanks, Clint, and running a proper business into high gear. And I wholeheartedly thank you so very much for that. Oh, thank you, Clint. I really appreciate it.
And like Sue said at the beginning, we're not going anywhere. Like we said in the channel the other day, do you really think we are going to go quietly into the dark? This is just getting this is just getting turned up, people.
We are the dark. Oh, sorry. So
I'm playing the antagonist with Jimmy now. We're going to get Jimmy to start doing webinars.
So with the new TLKT, will we be able to make search by city and regions? Yes. You're going to be able to do this one of two different ways. First of all, it'll have a more intelligent AdWords interface, so it'll bring back the broad term, but for the area that you specify. So let's say you specify Phoenix, Arizona, then it'll bring back all of your keywords with the searches for just the Phoenix area. But there's also a Tumblr function on the front end of it. So if you're just looking for keywords with, let's say, oh, I don't know, all of the cities and zips in Arizona, you can just say, give me all these keywords, prepend and append with these keywords, and add in these locales, and Bob's your uncle. You instantaneously get back a file that is so huge, it will make your head spin. All right, enough of that. All right, so David says, I'm still a little confused about the Pro package, even after watching Russ's video on omg.software. What I see is a bunch of really great tools, but I'm trying to see how I can match them with what I do. Ah, well, okay, so let me tell you why I put the Pro bundle together the way that I did. Let me think about where I can look at that. I think there's the grid here. Yeah. So what I tried to do with the Pro bundle was to give you everything that you needed. Let me back up. What I tried to do with the basic bundle was to give you a taste of everything you needed. This is absolutely perfect if you've got one site that you want to do. So there's a lot of guys that come into Network Empire. They're small business owners. They just want to do their own website, their one website, and be done with it. They don't want to get too deep into any any of the SEO because they're busy trying to run their business. It's just, give me an SEO siloed site and let me be done with it. So we tried to give them everything that you needed for that. They get the basic membership area, they get the deep silo plugin, they get Paying Finder, they get the last keyword tool, and they get Network Empire Builder for a single site. And we give them the simple version of Network Empire Builder Lite, and they can just go to town and do that. Okay, so pros are for people who want to do more than one site, and I specifically had in mind for that mostly you guys, right? The guys that are small agencies, maybe one-man shops, and you're doing a lot of local stuff. So it's got TLKT in it. It's got the unlimited version of Network Empire Builder and DWS. It's got the Sell Blueprints First course so that you guys can figure out how to get more clients and get that upfront money and take your business to the next level, as well as it gives you all of the tools. Now, with both of these packages, you get the basic members area. With every package, you get the basic members area. And that's got the whole training in it for how to put together the money site and the social media for the WR1 and the WRS1 ring. So that's your foundation, because without that, I mean, you just need that, right? So if you want to if you learn by yourself really well or marginally well, you can use the members area and go through. There's some videos in there, and then there's text, and you can follow along and follow the steps. If you want for Matt to pull out my whip and drag you across the finish line, he doesn't actually drag very well, but he will encourage strongly. Then you can go with the training courses, our Tech Foundation 1 course, the CLC 1 course. That's basically the same thing as what's in our basic members area. And it's a little bit more detail, and it's a coaching course. So, we go through it, everything step by step. There's step by step in the basic members area too, but it's just kind of laid out, week 1, do this. So you have specific goals for each week, with the idea that somewhere around week 8, you actually have your website done and your social media done and your basic 1 feed done. So that was the idea behind the Pro Bundle. You've got everything you need to do to do your own website or to do several clients' websites. And then if you want to use Kraken, I mean, obviously with the Pro package, you can come in and out of Kraken as you need to. You can pick it up for 3 or 4 days for just $47. So that was kind of what I figured for some of the smaller shops. For the larger shops that want to do blueprints on a really regular basis, then you probably want either the agency or the enterprise packages, because that's the big difference, is that this one's got Kraken and this one's got Kraken and TLKT and unlimited blueprints. So, those 2 packages exist so that you can do the bigger blueprints on a very regular basis. If you've got to do, I don't know, maybe more than 1 a week or whatever, then I would opt for probably agency or enterprise. Where was that? That was David.
I push for enterprise, but then I'm biased.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You never know when you're going to need unlimited blueprints. Particularly
I think everyone needs unlimited blueprints because everyone should be selling 2 a week.
Right? And then, those blueprints are great for the WR2 sites because you just don't have to think about it.
That's right.
All right. So, so David's interested in creating multiple affiliate sites to get money coming in. Maybe, just maybe in the future, I do client stuff. So yeah, so then Pro package is still good. It's going to give you TLKT. It's going to give you everything you need for unlimited sites. And if you so if you want to get some money coming in first, oh, that's for the advanced courses. Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, that's why I set it up the way I did, so that you can come in at a fairly small price point. If you want to just come in and do your first site, you can come in at $97 and do your first site. And then once you've got that up and making money, then you can move up to the $247 package. So it's scalable as your business grows.
And Danny, not only can you do blueprints with Pro, you can learn how to sell them with Pro.
Exactly. So there's blueprints and then there's blueprints. One of the things that I realized the other day when I was talking to Russell is we've actually got 3 different kinds of blueprints. So there's the blueprints that Mike does, which he uses data from our tools, to create a proposal blueprint for his clients. And that's like, this is how we're going to set up your site, and this is what we're going to need to do. And just the blueprint itself, you can sell to your client the way that, engineers sold me a blueprint for my house before I built it. So, so that's one blueprint. Another blueprint is that both Kraken and DWS creates a silo structure blueprint that you can import into the Silo Builder plugins and create your site structure that way. So that's the second blueprint. And the third blueprint only DWS does, and that's a promotion and syndication blueprint, which is an optional thing that you can use in Mike's blueprint. But that is just like, that was for me, that was born out of pain so deep. I was every week spending at least 4 hours per client creating. This is back in 2010 when I actually had a few clients. 4 hours per week coming up with the keywords that they should be promoting that week and the platforms that I needed to be taking their blog posts and curating them onto, right? So I had probably 3 or 4 clients. It was their responsibility to write the content, but I had to give them the keywords in a timely manner so that they knew what they were supposed to be writing about. And this is when, these are in the early days when I'm talking to Matt and just venting my frustrations with these clients. And he's busy coding on the backside. And the first thing he did was the keyword decision screen so that I could sell clients easier. And then the last thing he did was the promotion and syndication blueprint so that I could just hand it to them and say, here, do this. I could spin it off a month at a time and just say, these are the articles I need from you for the next month. And then I can also hand it to my outsourcers and say, here, these are the places it needs to be promoted onto. And with that, I could just kind of, I kicked back in my pool and relaxed. The OMG discount for the pro level, I believe, is still buried in the director's cut and Project B somewhere. I couldn't tell you where because they moved our stuff around in the meantime. So I don't have a link to it anymore. My apologies. We had to take the one off of omg.software because everybody was starting to use it. It was no longer members only. All right. So Duncan asks, or David asks, does the basic NE members include the WebRing principles that can be continued in the advanced courses? Yes, it does. That's all in the basic members area. You have everything that you need for the WR1 and WRS1 rings. All right, back to.
Have you ever gone over the web rings and showed them how it's not as much if you turn it sideways, how it makes a funnel?
How it makes a frisbee?
Well, no. If you think of it top down, it's a funnel.
It is.
You're looking at it. Think of this as a sales and lead funnel. You're flip it sideways. You start building that out, guys. You're generating traffic that makes a funnel. Uh-oh.
Let's see if it works.
Oh, good. You didn't break the internet.
Right?
Hey, I hate it when I accidentally break the internet.
Right? We broke a good the other night. Facebook and Skype all at the same time. So this is the outer part of your funnel, and then as you get closer in, that's the bottom of your funnel, right? So people are sucked in. The idea is the further out you get more tangent topics. So like on your money site, like for your money site, you create high quality content, right? This is the most expensive content that you create. And so you want to pick and choose the keywords that you actually have on your money site. You want those to be the things that are really core to your products and services, and the keywords that you know are going to convert. And so the keyword DNA, the building blocks, the individual keywords that you have on your money site are carefully chosen. They're hand-picked, handcrafted. Your silo structure is carefully built. And as you move out, you get basically the same keyword DNA on your branded social media platforms, right? You get a little bit more diversity because as you write blog posts, you naturally talk about concepts that are a little bit more tangent because you're posting, right? You're just blog posting. So keywords are going to wrangle their way in. And so as that gets syndicated out into the WRS1, you're going to rank for a few more keywords out there, and those people are going to get drug into your money site. Now, as you move out to the WR2 and WR3 rings, we braid in other feeds from the top leaders and shakers of your market, right? So they can be your competitors or they can be just information only. It doesn't really make any difference. What you're looking for is all of the good juicy topics that are more or less on topic with your products and services. It's okay if there's some tangent ideas in there. It's even okay if there's a few radically tangent ideas in there, so long as it's mostly on topic. And we use one feed supercharger to limit the keywords, right? You can put keywords in there that you want. So we take a keyword DNA braid from your WRS1 and we elaborate on that a little bit with some tangent ideas. And so that makes up the source of the feeds content that go onto your WRT sites. So your WRT sites, by its very nature, it's got more keywords. It's going to rank for more things. And as people hit those sites, they're designed to be engaging. And so people hit those sites, they're engaged, and then there's a banner there to your money site. And so they click through to your money site. So as you go out the next level, those ideas are braided again with stuff that's a little bit more tangent, still on topic, but more tangent. And so by the time you get to the outer ring, you have swallowed your market whole, right? You basically incorporated, particularly over time, all of the different keywords that have really got anything to do with your products and services. And you can successfully, it's like putting a huge net out into the ocean and just grabbing an entire herd of tuna at a time. They call them schools, don't they? Anyway, an entire herd of tuna at a time and dragging it back onto the boat, onto your money site, and siphoning all those leads in for your own evil purposes. So, did I explain that well enough? Did I miss the point that you were wanting me to make, Mike?
No, that's it exactly. And I think, I had three meetings today with students, and when I started talking about that, it was like, oh yeah. So I brought it up just because if they think about it, it's there, but most have not thought about it.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, WR2s and WR3s link back to the money site, absolutely. You can learn about how they link back to the money site in the course that we just started yesterday, the CLC 4 course. And I'm not going to get into the secrets any more than that, Tim. You can
And that course,
think
the
about it.
Skype room for that course was busy today. I think Matt was up to like 3 a.m. his time.
Oh, bless his little cotton socks. He did one kick-ass kickoff webinar.
He did.
All right, so so Danny asked, he said he found 170 keywords for his niche. And would he put the lower, smaller keywords into the outer layers? I don't think about it like that. I use the ones that I feel are going to most likely to convert on my money site. And then I use the ones that I want to test more out on the WR2 sites, right? So it's more like, yeah, I think these are going to be good keywords, but I'm not 100% certain. So I'll stick them out where the content is automatically generated and I don't have to think too hard about it. And then we'll just follow the analytics. And if it shows that they convert, then hey, I'm going to drag those concepts into my money site. All right. How does any builder compare to TLKT? All right, so first of all, TLKT is a keyword tool, and any builder and DWS Pro are reincarnations of each other. So DWS Pro was the original piece of software, and any builder was kind of a rewrite. And we rewrote it because we found DWS Pro it's feature rich. It's like over the top feature rich. And so when people come into DWS Pro the first time, most people are just completely overwhelmed and they're like, what? Their eyes kind of glaze over and they click away. So we started with Network Empire Builder Pro because it's easier to navigate. It's easier to understand what the concepts are. There's fewer screens. There's only the basic like 4 functions. And you can build your first site up there. And the cool thing about it is that they share the same database. So if you build a project in Network Empire Builder, you can go look at that project in DWS Pro. So DWS Pro adds all of the other, it's got team screens, it's got content screens, it's got the promotion and syndication screens, it's got additional website reports, it's got like, I don't know, 7 or 8 more major functions in it than Network Empire Builder does.
Yeah, and DWS Pro is it's really awesome, but yeah, like Sue said, it can be overwhelming if you haven't played around. So like when I was teaching Liz how to do this, I got her to use Any Builder Pro the first time. So there was less there to absorb, and then pushed her over into DWS Pro. So it wasn't as much, deer in headlight thing.
Exactly. All right, so we did that. We did that. We did Danny. All right, back to, yeah, all right. So we answered that question. We're just going to say see video. If I want to do local, should I search for a local keyword or just add the locality to the base keywords? That's a fine question. So the problem at the moment is you're not going to get the answer that you're really looking for. The closest you're going to get, what I tend to do, is I do a drill in something like TLKT, and then I take TLKT, the export, I add the locale onto the front or the back. So like, I guess onto the back. So they'd be like, SEO Austin, Texas. And then I might just say Austin. I probably wouldn't say Austin, Texas. So if you're in a small place that's got, like 5,000 different Smithfields in the U.S., then you're going to want to say Smithfield, whatever state, Virginia or whatever. But if you're in a larger city where it's quite obvious what city it is, like Los Angeles or New York or something like that, then you can just say that. And New York's that's difficult. Los Angeles is good though. Then you can just use those and you can pipe it through and you can get some small idea of what the search value is for those keywords. And I say it's a small idea because what they've done in the last few months, I don't know, I suppose it's been over the last 12 months, they've been slowly morphing it. But at this point, if you go into AdWords and you put in a locale, it'll give you back the broad terms and the search values for those broad terms, which is why we're writing a whole new keyword tool. And the new keyword tool will do exactly the same thing. It'll allow you to specify the locale, and then it'll bring you back the broad term, but with the local search volumes. It gives you the same search volume whether it's local or not, but it'll give you the local pay-per-click concept. So the local pay-per-click, clicks, and cost. And so then you've got an idea of what it is that you're looking for on a local level. And that's the best. That's the absolute best. So in the meantime, I look at those keywords with the locale post-pended, appended, that's the word I'm looking for, appended. And I check out what the volumes are for those. And then when I actually go to make my website, I still use the broad term because I'm going to have, the way that I make it local is with the address on page, If I'm doing some kind of a directory, then I'm going to have like the city or the city-state in the URL. I'm going to do the locale some other way than attaching it to the keyword. All right. See video. More questions than I can answer. Wait. Is the process you just described for local keyword research using keyword tool? Yes, it is. Will the new tool be the absolute last keyword tool? You know, I've had my business partners ask me the same question. I don't know. It all depends. If Google would quit changing their mind, right?
Well, it's the last keyword tool 2.0.
Right? It's still the last keyword tool. Don't worry. Would it be okay to continue my more specific questions around the bundles you mentioned? Sure, absolutely, David. You got my Skype? Hit me up on Skype. We can talk. The penultimate keyword tool. There you go, Eric. I'm going to steal that.
I like the laster keyword tool.
Right? Good. All right. I noticed in DWS Pro there's a column called Time to Rank. Is there a way to specifically search for keywords that have a time to rank under X number of months? Because I'd like to be able to cherry pick some easy terms to be able to show clients.
That's easy. Export it to Excel and sort by that column.
Yeah, you could do
That's
that.
what we do. Well, that's what we let Liz do
Um,
because she's a Excel guru.
right? Let me just see if there's an easier way before I just, say that, yeah, hey, there is. Let me just go look. That's the braid. So, dang it. You can't actually click on that. Once upon a time, you could. Oh, that's right. It slowed down the page load time too much. Yeah. You know, the other thing that I would say, yeah, no, I would export it to Excel and do a sort on it that way. That is going to be.
And once you have an Excel, you can kind of like do a screenshot of 2 lines and then use that to sell data. But I wouldn't know anything about that.
Right? You're
Hint,
evil.
hint. I know.
The return of the dawn of the day of the keyword tool. I like that one too.
I like that. That's a good one.
Right? Oh, that gives me all kinds of evil ideas.
I want to send that one to Russ and say, hey, we need to write marketing material for this one.
Right? I noticed. Okay, so that's yeah, in Excel. All right. If a website was moved from the www version to the root domain, would it affect the rankings? Well, yes, because so in a way, www and non-www Google views as being the same subdomain, and in another way they don't. So if you find that your rankings have dropped, then you're going to want to do a 301 from the www to the non-www, and I would do that 301 specifically for each page that you want to move the rankings for. So you might have to do a 301 for every page. Ryan is taking Russell marketing. Russell would be proud. The night of the day of the dawn of the sun of the
Ryan, you need to send that to Russell yourself. I'm not retyping that.
Oh, I have to try to read this out loud. Wait a minute. The night of the day of the dawn, of the son of the bride, of the return of the revenge, of the terror of the attack of the evil mutant hell-bound, flesh-eating, subhumanoid, zombified, living keyword tool part 3.
Version 2.
All right, now I have tears in my eyes and I can't read anything. Ah, what's your opinion on the setup? What's your opinion on setting up exact match domains? Do you prefer branded websites rather than EMDs? You know, I prefer branded sites rather than EMDs just because Google decides to pick on EMDs every twice in a while. So like right at the moment, an EMD is kind of a flag, right? It's a penalty sort of waiting to happen if you're not careful. If you're careful, it's all good. But if you are inexperienced in knowing where the thresholds are that Google finds to be penalties, then you want to avoid an exact match domain. Just go buy another domain. So at this point, I don't buy exact match domains because you never know when Google's going to decide to not favor them again.
Okay, so I have a question about exact match domain.
Yeah.
Technically, isn't every domain an exact match for something? I mean, if your company was Pro Atlanta SEO Services, and that was the way you're registered, and that's what your Google places it,
Well, then don't get a domain like
there's a
that.
line.
Just get
Well, yeah.
just get Pro Atlanta or something like that.
Okay.
It's like ThemeZoom. ThemeZoom doesn't have anything about SEO in it.
That's true. But does that mean you can easily over-optimize for your company name too? Or is that is that a different story?
Well, yeah, you kind of have to watch the anchor text while your company is brand new because there's not going to be too many searches on it. But I look at that as being kind of a flag where it's something like nobody searches for ThemeZoom because it's not a real word, right?
Yeah.
So for example, Mary Kay. Mary Kay gets lots of searches. Once upon a time, it wasn't anything, right? It was somebody's name. So you hit that brand where you've got a certain sense of mass appeal, and then everybody's searching for it. So
So shut it, Mike. You're overthinking things.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
basically, yeah, just like I wouldn't do a whole bunch of domain anchor texts while your domain is new.
Yeah.
Once you start to get traction, then you can do more of those. But in the meantime, you're going to want to do non-specific anchor text links. All right, so Ryan, who just gave us this wonderful name, has been brought in to consult on some SEO projects, partnering with friends' business. One question in particular that I'm not sure how to address. One client has an existing site that he would like to expand in the UK and Germany and possibly others. What is the best way to approach this? Should he just buy the same domain name with a corresponding country TLD, or in this case, would you use subdomains? One of my techie friends also referenced separate WordPress instances, but I'm not sure what he meant in regards to this question. So you can do like mysite.com/UK, and that can be one WordPress instance, and then you can do mysite.com/Germany, and that can be another WordPress instance, and then you can just have like an HTML page at mysite.com or www.mysite.com. That's what he was meaning. I'm not saying that that's the optimal way to do it, but that's what he was talking about. I've been trying to automate DAS with ours. Oh, that's the second question. All right, so what's the best way to do this? So the interesting thing is that UK and Germany have got different languages, right? So if it's different languages, I tend to stick them in different subdomains because otherwise it's somewhat easy for a person to, say, do a search or hit the wrong thing and end up on a page in the wrong language and then just become slightly discombobulated. So I try to avoid that whenever possible. And the reason why I would do subdomains rather than different TLDs is because then you get the better domain authority, right? You get all the domain authority of the inbound links for each of those domains, and that becomes cumulative to that one domain. If you go with different TLDs, which under certain circumstances can be advantageous, so like let's say, glory be. So like in Germany, everything's .de, right? And in the UK, you've got everything's .co.uk. So you could go with different different TLDs because that's going to be more easily recognized by the people who do searches in each of those respective countries. Though I find the people in Germany tend to be a little bit more forgiving. They're used to looking, or at least more used to looking at sites from other countries. But you know, you want to check in with the German business partners and see how they feel about being hosted on a .co.uk, or maybe you do a .com for both countries. Either way is possible. Worst case scenario, you end up with two different sites. That's one thing that I would say is probably client dependent, given those two specific countries. Now, if it were like Canada or Mexico or someplace like that, I'd do a .com for everything. Second question, I've been trying to automate DAS with RSS. Is it ever a problem to continually use the same linking pattern? Back to the blog post. We answered that in a previous question. It's all good. All right, more people chitter-chattering over in the box. Let's see what they said. If something is branded, then there's no question what you search for, like Weebly. Yeah, exactly. Could you just, yep, exactly. Oh, href language. So, that's back to question one. I probably wouldn't approach it that way. I would have each blog. See, the advantage of having it at least on separate subdomains is that you can go into Webmaster Tools and you can tell Google that each of those subdomains is targeting a specific country. If you've got it referenced, if you do it as separate instances under the same subdomain, then you can't do that specific break in Webmaster Tools. And I think that would be problematic. You want to be able to break that out and tell Google where they should be indexing each of those blogs. I don't think you can do that on a page-by-page level. I certainly wouldn't want to do it on a page-by-page level if the site's of any size anyway. Right, yeah, good. Subdomains, good. All right. So Tim, I don't know if I can laugh like Jimmy, but I could try. I would like your help with an Amazon listing that I believe is over-optimized with anchor text. I would like your opinion on whether to continue working on this URL or if I should start fresh with a new product URL. It never showed up in the SERPs, not even in Google's hidden listings, and my DA100 and PA67 is higher than most Amazon pages I see in the hidden listings. Oh my. Well, GSA blasts. I don't typically recommend a GSA blast to an Amazon page. Me personally, I would do a DAS stack to an Amazon page. I wouldn't do a GSA blast. And so my gut hunch is, if you've done a GSA blast, let's just go look at something really fast.
I'm trying not to comment.
Fine.
I could have so much fun.
I know. Um, Canonical. P57G. PJ50. All right, so they haven't changed the. Sometimes they'll change the canonical when they feel like there's too many inbound links to a particular URL. So then it just basically nullifies all of the inbound links. Yeah, your PA is way too high for it to not show up. So my gut hunch is it's severely over-optimized. I mean, I would have to go look in Kemper and blah, 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 but that would be my gut hunch. All right, so Charlie says, I have several high PA Tumblr expired accounts that I've reactivated. Although they have very high PA, most over 35, they have a low trust flow of under 5 and even 0. Ouch. How should I use these? So the way that I would use these, do we still have that up? No. The way that I would use those is I would link them to the WR3 and point them at your WR3 sites. I've got a ton of PBNs, over 100, all with great metrics. Have you had any success in buying auction domains with high PR, domain authority, trust flow, and good links, and using these domains for domain authority stacking? If yes, what's the best way to use a very good domain like this? For example, should I use a PBN to link to my Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, avoiding my money site? The reason I ask is because since I have so many PBNs, I want to link to different properties with each one, not just my money site each time. Well, yeah, definitely. I would link to different properties. Sure. Like if they've truly got good trust flow, then, you could link to, like, if we pull this back, you could link right to mymoneysite.com, Silo 1 supporting articles. Sorry, the other way around. You can link right smack to site.1, site.com, to site.3. Obviously, you don't want to do this. But you can link to that first layer that's just behind the money site. If they've really got good trust flow, I wouldn't push them too far back because you want that trust flow to come forward. But, it depends. Everybody's definition of good is relative. So, are there questions I need? I realized I just I've been ignoring the box. Is there anything?
No, I mean, you're pretty much hitting it as they're coming in.
All right, good. If you have inner pages on WR2 pointing to the money site, how should we increase? Well, so this is not a WR2 course. My apologies. We don't even talk about that inside the basic members area. Yes, we did get your Amazon question. You'll have to watch the replay now. Matt's second question. Thanks, Tim. How strict? Oh, I'm very strict. Oh, sorry. How strict should we be with using our own video content for blogging? I found someone else's YouTube video that was relevant, entertaining, and not a competitor. Could I use that in my, I tend to use that in my blogs. I'm not going to use that smack on my money site where I'm trying to sell people my stuff because it's not my video, right? My videos go on my WR1 site, but I'm happy to blog about other people's stuff. In fact, that's usually what I do. I'd take a video like that and I'd blog about it. That means I put my own spin on what I think about the video and how it's relevant to my stuff and why they should buy my stuff, right? I always manage to find a way to use it as a pitch. And then finally, Danny asks, oh, there was a second question for Charles. No, I wouldn't use them in succession. That's not going to help. That's not going to help because they're already, the trust flow is already really low. So you already got to back it way the heck out. It's got to be like fourth tier because the trust flow sucks, right? So if you use these in succession, by the time you get too deep, more than too deep, then you're already too far back for anything to count. So you just want them to link to your third tier period at the end. All right, so Danny's last question. I developed a list of keywords from TLKT. I got the keywords using about 30 keyword projects and combined each project results to make one master keyword list, around 16,000 keywords. I imported that master list into DWS and I got down to 170 keywords. What's the best way to determine the silos for these words? You don't have to do it manually. So when I'm looking, this all goes back to the ISDNA, right? You want to understand what your positioning is. This has been the age-old question. How do I choose the keywords? Once I know my good keywords from my bad keywords, how do I choose the structure of my silo? How do I know these are the best keywords? All of those kinds of things. And that all stems off of your positioning. If you know what makes your product different and better than all of the other products out there, if you know why people should buy your product, if you know so back all the way up to the pain. What's the pain in the marketplace that your product solves better than anybody else? That's the foundation for your positioning. And sometimes there's only one reason, sometimes there's 3 or 4. And those things are typically what your silo keywords ought to be. If there's only one thing that in your positioning, then look at the next level down. Maybe that one thing is what your site is actually about, and the next level down provides you with your silos. If there's truly only one concept as to why your product is better than everybody else's, and that happens, then that's your one silo, and your other silo are other things about your product. So like, technology behind your product, why you built your product, who are you, those kinds of things can become your other silos. That's one of those, how can I explain that? That's one of those that I spent a lot of time looking at how my competitors' sites were structured in each niche, and I spent, I go to Amazon. Amazon is a great source for how to structure silos because they've got enough money to be able to put a lot of money into that. So I go and I look at what kind of categories a single product might be in, and I look at how they approach the bullet points on those products, the most popular products. Why are the most popular products the most popular, right? Why, when you look at the best selling, not necessarily the best reviewed, but the best selling. You just take a look at why their marketing copy is so good that they can be the best selling. And also take a look at people's reviews for those products, because they'll also tell you what problem was solved for them that made the product worthwhile. And so you look at all of that stuff and you start to couch that. You also look at the results out of Pain Finder, and you start to get a feel for what the basic topics are at your top level. You want to make them the things that people are interested in. You don't want boring topics. So, for example, on my site, we're redoing our silo structure on Network Empire. We've got training, we've got software, we've got WordPress, and we've got live events. Those are our 4 silos. And obviously, we're going to be radically different from Mike Clay Digital. He's going to be talking to his clients where we're talking to people like him. And so even so it's all in the SEO industry, we're couching different kinds of products. So he's going to be putting forward like things like SEO and
Marketing, branding.
exactly. So all of the things that people are interested in when they're looking to get their business online. So, Danny, are you still here? Does that make
And
sense?
I also put the link to the area in the members area where you dive into the is DNA. And guys, that section, don't just skim through it. Read through it and follow the links. Because it's kind of like an onion. The more you peel it back, the more data you find as you dive in deeper.
Exactly. I still have the unabridged version of that. We'll get that back up here within the next couple of weeks. All right. I'm out of breath. Russell hasn't come back yet, huh? He hasn't
He
been.
has not.
All right. So let me just
And I'm
cheat.
sending him funny posts on Skype. He hasn't even laughed yet.
Well, that's bad. Let me cheat. I'm going to give you guys a bonus. How many want a bonus? Give me a 1 if you want a bonus, because it's going to take me a second to get it organized. And a 2 if you're just happy to walk away and never talk to us again.
Oh, wow, look at all those twos. Nah.
You're cruel. You're mean. All right, I'm going to put this up here. That's just going to be a horrible thing. You know what? Let me just let me put it in the spreadsheet so that maybe it'll get posted. David doesn't always post these, but um, all right. And let me drop this to everybody here in Skype so that you all get a yes. Right? And Jimmy might just be on that webinar if I can hog tie him. Isn't that what you do in Texas? You hog tie people?
Yeah, you hog tie people.
All right. Can you do that with bungee cord?
It's a little hard on bungee cord, but I have like a couple of 1,000 feet of paracord. I'll send that to you.
All right, excellent. I think between the paracord and the bungee cord, you can probably do
Yeah,
some damage.
he's kind of tall, so you know.
Well, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
That's true.
I should probably find a soft spot, pile of hay or something. I don't want him to actually, hurt his typing fingers. All right. I don't know what he's typing, but he's typing.
Yeah, I was answering Patrick real quick.
Excellent.
Um,
All
yeah,
right.
and we talked in the last couple of days. You've talked with everybody,
Yeah.
but I've talked with you. I've talked with Russ, and I've heard a lot of potential topics for the Friday webinar. So you know, guys, put it this way: I'm here to teach one class and one course, and I kind of get to sit on the outskirts and look into that inner circle every once in a while. So here's the thing, guys. I have heard all the crazy things they're planning. You want to start showing up on these Friday webinars. Hint, hint. Quote, end quote. It's going to be epic.
I just listened to my coach. Yeah, I would start from scratch. I think it's over-optimized. Paul, oh my goodness, I'm blushing.
Eric, check the chat room. Sue posted a link to the attend GoToWebinar for next week.
Let me just pop it right smack to you. All right. So next Friday, we'll tell you guys about, it's probably, I think what we're going to do is, no, I don't know for sure. Come next Friday or get on the mailing list and we'll figure out what's going on for sure, for sure. If you're not members, I mean, being members for sure would get you access to everything in terms of these webinars, but we'll see what else we can work out. And yeah, make sure, if you're not a member, make sure you're on the newsletter so that you stay up to date on everything that's going on, because it's there that you will find out alternative ways for what's going on, all of the good stuff that's going to be going down. They come out every Wednesday. And yeah. All right.
And any rumor that I start in the rooms, the more y'all talk about it, the more Sue and Russ are like, maybe we should build a product.
You are evil.
I am. But I'm so good at it.
Don't think that following him is going to get you anywhere, just so you know.
It's a long walk, very short pier.
Right? But there is a Pied Piper.
Yes.
All right. Following any strategy, can you build up PIDA and rank without using things like GSA? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, you can get pretty much anywhere you want to using domain authority stacking. You just have to be creative about what you're putting in the stack. And that, the more you hang out with us, the more you'll get evil ideas. But just so you know, we've built up like you can get to domain authority from brand new site. You can get to domain authority of between 12 and 15 in 30 to 45 days with just social explosion and a silent site, right? Like no DAS, no nothing. And then when you throw DAS on there, it depends on the strength of your DAS, and you need the appropriate keywords. You want to make sure you're not over-optimizing those inbound links. And 9 times out of 10, if your DAS isn't working properly, it's because you've used the same keyword too many times. And so, you know, DAS can get you anywhere because you just got to think a little bit outside the box of what it is that you're putting in your DAS stack. But all of that will come into more clarity over the next months as we hang out and continue our friendship. Bring on the evilness. All right. A flipboard. Yeah, probably. I don't know what a flipboard mag is, but if it's got page authority, then you can link from the flipboard mag to your money site. All right. Excellent, Tim. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate everybody. We love all you guys. Thanks so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure. It's been awesome. And I hope to see all of you guys next week and on the inside. Thank you, Mike, for helping us. It's
My
been a pleasure
pleasure.
to have you here. and we will see you around for more evilness. Thanks so much, guys. You have a good night.